Hey drivers, Sunil here, and this is your weekly broker tip for Friday, July 14th, 2023. Once again, I'm not an attorney. This is not legal advice, so don't take it as legal advice. So I wanted to cover the Spanish translations of certain forms that SCR put out recently. You guys may have seen emails from SCR about this, but anyway, they came out with translations of some of our forms. And so if you go onto your screaltors.org site, and by the way, if you don't have an account set up, I would highly recommend setting one up. You can access all the SCR forms here. There's all kinds of member benefits that we have, different legal tips, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, you go to the forms section, and you go down here to Spanish translations, and then you can see all the forms that have been translated into Spanish. And some of these we use a lot, like the agency disclosure form, the exclusive right to sell, the seller's disclosure, the contract, the notice of termination, and the repair request. The others we don't use as often. For some reason, they have not translated the exclusive right to buy yet, but I would imagine that's in the works. But here's one thing that's really important to be aware of, which I didn't realize this until just a few days ago. It says these forms are for informational purposes only and should not and cannot take the place of the English version of the contract. And so, for example, the listing agreement, it has it translated into Spanish, but the seller, in this case, this is the exclusive right to sell, the seller cannot sign this form, even though they have the initial and signature forms. It says right here, there's a disclaimer. It says, South Carolina Realtors hired this company to translate the form. Different Spanish dialects and translations may vary. This form is provided as a courtesy and is not a contract or a legally binding document, so this form cannot be signed, and they have the same disclaimer on every single form. So for those of you who are Spanish speaking, if you utilize these forms, they're great resources to help people understand what they're signing, but they have to sign the English version. And obviously, if you are representing someone who speaks Spanish or their primary language is Spanish, you should have a good handle of the language. If not, I would highly recommend you refer it to someone who does speak Spanish well enough that they can guide someone through a real estate transaction. All right? But nonetheless, it's still a great resource to have. If you are Spanish speaking and you work with Spanish speaking clients, familiarize yourself with these forms. That's the wrong one. Just all the Spanish translations, and it's certainly helpful. Alrighty, have a fantastic rest of the day and enjoy your weekend.